Hi everyone, welcome to this video series by Data Science. So in this video series, we are going to discuss top 50 or top 60 most important Python interview questions, the coding ones, which are asked mainly for data roles such as data analyst, data engineers, data scientists, AI engineers, ML engineers. Nowadays, we have seen that there is a lot of rise in companies asking DSA questions, Python competitive questions from you guys in the interviews, and because a lot of people don't have experience in that much, they struggle. So now if you go to lead code, there are more than 3000 problems and you will struggle because it's really very impossible to solve all those questions, learn all those techniques in quick span of time. So what I have done, I have accumulated the most important questions which are very frequently asked in interviews. So if you learn all the tricks, all the strategies in this 50-60 question video series, you will be more than ready for any interview, any coding interview which are going to appear in these domains. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start the discussion in today's question. So in this question, you are given an array and you are asked if this array contains any duplicate, then return true or 1. And if this duplicate contains does not contain any duplicate, just return false or return a 0. Okay, so this is a very pretty straightforward question that you are given a list or an array. They will ask if there is any, check for duplicates in the array. If there are duplicates, return true. If there is no duplicate, return false. Now to solve this question, there are three standard approaches which I'm going to discuss, which will be used in other questions as well. The first method is called using the set method. Okay, second method is called using a linear search method. And the third method which we are going to discuss is called a dictionary method. So I'll be discussing the approaches and the coding for each of the steps. So let us deep dive into each of the steps, and let's start with the set. So in the method 1, we are going to use the concept of sets. So what are sets? Basically, sets are those data structures which contain only unique elements. Okay, so basically, first of all, what we will do, we will create a blank set. So let's say we create a blank set, something like this. Remember, the property of a set is that it cannot contain any duplicate value. That is very important. Now what happens that we will start moving from our first element in this particular array, and we will compare with whatever set we are having. So for example, there will be two properties. Either this element will be present in my set, okay, or it will not be present. Okay, that is what we are going to utilize. This concept we are going to utilize. Now remember, when at the start the set is empty, okay, so whenever the set is empty or does not contain that number, what we are going to do, we are going to put that number into the set. Okay, this is the first property. And second, if that particular number is present in that particular set, then we are going to return that, okay, this number is already present, then return as true, or we can print something like this number is already present. So what is the concept? We are going to start iterating from 1, and we will check if 1 is present in this set, yes or no. So for example, 1 is not present in this set. So what we will do, we will add 1 here. Okay, now we will move to 2. Now is 2 present? 2 is also not present. So because 2 is not present, we will add 2 to the set. Now 3 is also not present. So we will add 3. Now 4 is not present. So we will add 4. Now let's see, the interesting part starts from here. 4, because 4 is already present, when we try to put it here, it will see that 4 is already present. So it will generate a flag that, okay, I cannot put this here because 4 is already present, and it will generate a flag of true that, okay, because this number is already present, it means that 4 is a duplicate. Okay, so what is the criteria for identifying duplicate? That whenever we see that a number is already present in this set, it means it's a duplicate. Similarly, now 5 will go here. Now when example we go for 1 is also present, so 1 will also generate a flag that, okay, this is a duplicate and we cannot put it into the set. So this is the concept of set, that initially we will start with a blank set and we will start putting values in it. Whenever we see a value which is already present in the set, we will generate that flag. So let's move towards the coding part of it. So for coding, let's create this particular nums. Let's say it is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 1. Let's say an array is something like this. Okay, an array or list, you can take anything. So we'll create a function def duplicates. Okay, so now what will this function take? This function will take a nums, okay, whatever array or whatever list you are providing, and it will return you whether it contains duplicate or not. So remember, what was my first step? My first step was, so let's first of all write down the steps. The step 1 is to create a blank set, okay, blank set. Second step is start iterating in the list. So there will be two conditions. The condition 1 will be if element is in list, okay, then return return true, or you can say that this is a duplicate. And second, if element is not present, what we are going to do, we are going to add the element in the set. So this is what we are going to do from the start. So first of all, let's create a blank set. So we'll say, okay, let's create a blank set which is equal to scene, and we will name it. So this is how to initialize a blank set. Okay, this means that a blank set is created. Now what we will do, we'll follow the step 2. So this was my step 1. Now let's follow the step 2. Step 2 is I will use a for loop to iterate in the list. So I will say for num in nums. Okay, I'm iterating in this particular list. So for num in nums, what I'm going to do, remember, if it is seen, then return 2. So what I will say, if num in scene, right? This is how you say that if num is present in scene, then what you return, you can write down as true, okay, or you can write down as, okay, this is a duplicate. That's totally up to you. Now if the number is not present in this particular scene, what we are going to do, so we are simply come out of this particular loop. We will say that if number is not present, so you can write down an elif statement, or you can simply directly write that, okay, if it is in scene, just return true. Otherwise, what you have to do, simply you do scene dot add num. Okay, so you will add this number in that particular set, and after that, what you will return, you will just simply return false, because this condition is not satisfied, right? So it will follow this and it will return you this. Okay, that's how it is done, and that's it. So your overall function will return true if the number is in scene, and it will return false if the number is not in scene. Okay, so that's how it is done. Now let's run this and let's check it out. So what I will do, I'll simply call this function duplicates and on nums. So this nums I'm checking. Now remember, this particular function, this particular list has duplicate, so it should return true. So it is returning true for me. Now let's try on a distinct set. For example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now this particular list does not contain any duplicate, so now it should return false to me. So it is returning false to me, right? So this was the first method where you identify duplicates using the concept of sets. So now let's move forward to the next step. Now the second method which we are going to use to solve this particular question is called the sorting and a linear search method. Okay, so we will sort and we will do a linear search. Basically we will do comparison. So what do I mean to say? That whenever a list is given to you, now you do not know what the where the duplicates are lying in, right? It could be that one is here, the other one is here. So what do? We basically sort the list or array in ascending or descending order. So now for example, if I sort this particular list, what I'm going to get, I'll get 1, then I will get 1, then I'll get 2, then I will get 3, I'll get 4, and I will get 5. Okay, so this will be my first step where I have sorted. You can sort in either ascending or descending order, it does not matter. Okay, now let's understand the next concept which we are going to use here, that we are going to start iterating from this element from left to right. Now we will compare that for every number, we will compare it with the next number. if we see any example or any number for which nums or like for which my number an element is equal to the next element, okay, if there ever comes a condition for any number, right, it means there is a duplicate and we will return a true. Okay, for example 1, when we start with 1 we will compare it with this one. Now because these two are equal, so I'll return a true. Now this one is not equal to this, so false. For this false, for this false, for this it will be true because this 4 will be equal to this, so this will be true. For this will be false, for this no comparison will be existing. So that's how we are going to compare. First sort the list or array in ascending and descending order, and then do a move from left to right, start comparing the number with the next number and see if these two numbers are equal at any place, just return a true, otherwise return a false. So let's move forward with the coding. So let us say we have this particular list, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write on the function def duplicates. Okay, and now this function is going to take this particular list in return. Now first of all, remember, let's discuss the step just like we did in the earlier. Step one is to sort the list or array, whatever you are given. Okay, step 2, iterate from left to right. Okay, if left equal to right for any element, it's a duplicate. So this is the logic I'm going to use here. Now let's start with here. So the step 1 is first I will take the nums and I will sort it. Okay, so this means ascend. Now if you want to do in descending order, you can use reverse equal to true, but it does not matter. You can take any method, like it's not necessary to use ascending or descending because eventually we'll be comparing with the next element, so that does not matter. Now the step 2 is to basically iterate through the list. So to iterate through the list, what I will do, for I in range, okay, length of nums. Now remember, I am not iterating through whole list. So for example, in this is I equal to 0. Okay, this is I equal to 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. Now because I'm comparing any element with the next element, right? So I only need to move from I equal to 5 to, from I equal to 5, 0 to 5. I don't need to go till this because I don't need to. If I reach 6, I cannot compare it with the next element, right? So I only need to vary from here to 5. So for example, let's say the length of your list is n. So what will be your range? I will vary from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, that's how you are going to write it down. So 0 to n minus 1, that is where your element will vary. So so in the code we are going to write down for I in range of this minus 1. Okay, that's why this minus 1 comes from. Now what is the condition? If nums of I becomes equal to nums of I plus 1. Okay, if you face any condition where this is met, what you are going to do? You are going to return true. Okay, because this is a duplicate. Otherwise, what you are going to return? You are simply going to return false in the function. That's it. So this is the code for this particular part. Now we will simply run this to test duplicates nums. Okay, so this particular scenario should return me true because there is a duplicate in it. So I'm getting a true. Now for example, if I change here, if I just do 1 2 3 1 2 3 and now this should return a false to me because there is no such duplicate here. So that's about solving it using the linear search method or linear algorithm. Okay, now let's move toward the last method, that is called the dictionary method. So in the dictionary method, what we are going to do, we are going to store all the elements of this particular list in form of key and value pair, right? This is what a dictionary is, right? Where you store information in key and value. So what is this key and value? Let's discuss that. So I will store it in this form where key is the distinct elements. For example, how many distinct elements are there? 1, okay, then it is 2, then it is 3, then it is 4, and then it is 5. Okay, there are 5 distinct elements. So the first key is all the distinct elements. Key will be equal to all distinct elements in the list which are present. Now what will be value? Value will be the frequency of each element in that particular list. So for example, 1 is appearing 2 times. So what I will do, it will be stored as 2. Now 2 is appearing 1 time, so 1. 3 is appearing 1 time, so 1. 4 is appearing 2 times, so 2. And 5 is appearing 1 time. Okay, so this is how we are going to store. This is a dictionary. I'll call it frec, for example, right? And where I will store the frequency of each element in that particular list. And then I will put a condition that if value, right, if any value in this particular dictionary is greater than 1, it means it's a duplicate, then return me a true, otherwise return me a false. Right? So what is my approach? First, I will convert this into dictionary where I will be using key value pair. Key is the element and then value is its frequency. After that, I'll check if any frequency or any value is greater than 1, it means it's a duplicate. So let's move in the coding part. So this is the list that we are having. Let's write down all the steps that we are going to do. Step 1 is to convert in a dictionary. Okay, in dictionary where we have key equal to value and basically element in the list, and value is equal to its frequency. Okay, so first we will discuss how to create this type of dictionary whenever you are given a list. There are 2 methods to create such a dictionary. So let's discuss both of them. First of all is by simply using a library, that is from collections import counter. Okay, this is the library class that we are going to do. So what counter does is that now simply you will say that frec is equal to counter of nums. Okay, now we will simply print frec. So if you do this, you will get the from collections, it is called collections import counter. Okay, so if you do this, you see you have got this particular dictionary where 1 is appearing 2 times, 4 is appearing 2 times, 5 is appearing 2 times, 2 is appearing 1 time, 3 is 1 time, 7 is 1 time. So this is method using dictionary. Now suppose your interviewer asks that no, you cannot use this library, you have to build this frequency on your own. So how to build that frequency on your own? So let's discuss about that. So you can simply say frec is equal to, you start with a blank dictionary. Okay, now we will use the same concept that we have used in the set part. That what I'm going to do, I'm going to iterate in this list from 1 by 1. Okay, when there will be two conditions. If that element is already present in the frequency, I will increase the key by 1, the value by 1, and if that element is not present, I will add its frequency to, I'll create its frequency as 1, right? So what I'm going to do for num in nums, okay, so there'll be 2 conditions. If num in frequency, if num is already present in this dictionary, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say that frec of num, okay, I will increase its value by 1. So that is how you increase. Okay, now if that element is not, so for example, let's talk about 4. When you come at this particular 4, this 4 is already present, right? So what it will do, it will increase the frequency by 1. So the frequency of 4 was already 1. Now you will increase the frequency to plus 1. So it will become 2 here. Okay, so this is how it is done. Else what you will do, now remember, for example, if you're seeing an element for the first time which is not present in the frequency, what you will do, you will set its frequency frec of num equal to 1. So that's how you're going to do. And then eventually let's print frec. So the collections library that I told you, it is just this code written in the background. Okay, so now see, you have got this particular dictionary created. Okay, so this is how you will create a dictionary. So let's start writing the particular function to check duplicates. So I'll write down def duplicates. Okay, now this duplicates is going to take a num. Okay, now remember, what is my step 1 to create a dictionary? So either you can use collections, or you can simply use this method. So I will be using this particular method where I'll take a frec. Okay, then I will run this, then I will run this, then I will run this, else frec is equal to 1. So this is how my frec now yeah, so now my frec is created. So this has created my step 1, where is the dictionary. Now what is my step 2? Step 2 is check if any value in dictionary is greater than 1. If it is greater than 1, then return it as true. Basically it's a duplicate. So what I'm going to do now, remember how to access each of the element in a dictionary. For example, this is a dictionary, so this is called a key, this is called a value. Okay, so to access both key and value, how we go about is, let me tell you. So you will say for key comma value, okay, in, now this is frec dot items. This is very important, right? Whenever you use frec dot items, it means you are accessing both of the elements, key and value. If you just write dot keys, it means you are accessing only keys. And if you are just writing down values, it means you are using only the values of that particular dictionary. Okay, so I can use either items because I want to get access to values. So I can either use values or I can use items. Okay, so I will be, yeah, so I'll be using, let's say, items. For example, let's say if I use items, then what I need to check, I need to check if value is greater than 1, then what I need to return true. Otherwise I simply need to return false to the function. That's how it is done. So this was a step 1 where we created a dictionary, and second step where we are checking each of the value in the dictionary. If any value is greater than 1, then return as true. So now simply let's do duplicates nums. Okay, so right now we are having duplicates, so it should return as true. So it is returning as true. We can see that. Now if I change here, for example, let's say I simply do 1 2 3 4 5 6, now this should return me a false. It has returned me a false, right? So these were the 3 methods that we discussed on how to check duplicates in any array, any list, right? Now these 3 techniques will be used a lot, like in many of the questions which you will be seeing. So try to solve this question using all of the 3 approaches, and remember these approaches. First of all, how to create a dictionary. Second, how to check an element which is existing in a set, or how to perform a linear search comparison. Okay, if you can do those things, it will really help you in long run. So thanks for watching this video. Now I will see you in the question number 2. Please subscribe to our channel and please follow this playlist very thoroughly. It's really designed for people who are giving interviews in the data domain. So thanks a lot. Please subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next video.